So let me show you what this project does. So here we need to say hello, and is it right here? So let's say right, and it's right here as well. That's it. So let's get started. Now I will go ahead and create 3 files: index.html, style.css, and script.js. So inside index.html, I will write an exclamation mark and press enter. And here I want to say display user input. So let's immediately connect our styles here. So let's say link and style.css. And also we shouldn't forget to connect our script. So let's say source will be script.js. So inside of a body, I'm going to go ahead and create a container. And first of all, I want to say h1 JavaScript user input. Okay. Now we need an input. Type will be text, and its ID will be user input. And for placeholder, I will say type something here. Now we need a button. So let's say button, and its ID will be display button. And here let's say display text. And in case of any errors, we should take care of that as well. Let's create a paragraph, and its ID will be error. And let's say class will be error message. And now, after all these things, we need a certain area where we will show our users' inputs. So let's say ID will be display area. So now we have done everything we needed in index.html. So now let's take care of script.js. So here let's say document dot get element by ID, and we need to take our button. So let's say display button, and we need to say add event listener, and it will be click. So when we click our button, we want to call a certain function. So let's say display input. It will be a name of our function. Okay. So now let's actually create that function. So I will say function display input. And here I will say const user input field will be document dot get element by ID user input. Now let's say display area document dot get element by ID display area. Okay. Const error. In case of any errors, we need to say document dot get element by ID error. Now we need to go ahead and say const user input is equal to user input field dot value. And in case our user writes some spaces, we should take care of that as well. So we need to say trim function. So this function will remove any spaces. Okay. So now let's say if user input is empty. If user input is empty and a user wants to send it, we need to say error dot inner text. If it's not the case, we need to come here and say error dot inner text to be empty, and const new paragraph So in order to show our inputs, we will use paragraphs. So let's say document create element, it will be paragraph. So we have a display area, which is a div, and inside we will show these paragraphs. Okay. And now we need to say new paragraph dot inner text will be user input. Okay. And now we need to say display area dot append child. And we need to say new paragraph. So here we will show our paragraphs inside display area. We will show new paragraphs. And the last but not least, we need to come here and say user input field dot value to be empty. So after sending some text, we need to make our input field to be empty. Okay, now we have done everything we needed to do with script.js. So let's go ahead and check. For checking, I use live server. So now I need to come here and say go live. So let's actually come here and type something. So let's say hello, display text. Great. Now let's say great. So as you can see, everything is working properly. And now we need to style this a little. So let's do that. Okay, so let's come here and say margin will be 0, padding will be 0, and box sizing will be border box. So by using this, we apply all these styles to all our elements. So it's considered to be a good practice. Of course, it depends on your needs, but usually I do it. Okay, so now let's come here and say body. Font family will be, let's say, Arial and sans serif. So in case Arial will not be connected properly, then something from sans serif will be used. Okay. So now let's say display flex. Justify content will be center. Align items will be center. And let's say min height will be 100 VH. And let's add some padding. Let's see 10 pixels. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, much better. And now we need to add some background color. I have already prepared that, so I just need to type it. So I will say this. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it's much better. Now let's see container. Let's see text align will be center. Max width will be 500 pixels. Padding will be 20 pixels. And background color will be this color. Okay. And now let's see border radius will be 8 pixels. So let's see how it looks. Okay, it's much better. Now let's come here and say margin bottom will be 20 pixels. Okay, so now for our input and button, we want to apply some styles. So let's say padding will be 20 pixels. Text align will be center. Okay, let's say margin will be 10 pixels from top and bottom, and auto from left and right to center them in center horizontally inside the container. Okay, so and now let's say font size will be 16 pixels. Okay, font size will be 16 pixels and width will be 100%. So let's see how it looks. Wow, it's much better. But now I want to get rid of this outline. Okay, for that I will come here and say input will be border none and outline will be none as well. So for button, I will say cursor will be pointer, border will be none as well, and background color will be some kind of orange color, which I have already prepared as well. It will be this. Okay, and color will be white, font weight will be bold, and let's make border radius to be 10 pixels. So let's see. Wow, it's better. And our input doesn't have a border as well. Okay, so let's continue. So on button hover, we will say the following. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we can barely see it, but we see it anyway. And for error message, okay, error message, we need to say color will be red, font size, let's say, will be 14 pixels, and let's say margin top will be 10 pixels. Actually, let's check if an error appears. So now I will try to send an empty text. And we see this error. Okay, so for display area, I will say the following. So here, as you can see, I wrote this because display area doesn't have a class, it has only ID. So that's why I try to get access to it this way. Okay, so let's say margin top will be 20 pixels, font size will be 18 pixels. So let's say font weight will be bold, color will be this color, and let's say text transform will be capitalized. Okay, great. But let's actually add some space between these paragraphs. So for that, I will just say margin 10 pixels. Okay, and now when I write something new, this error should disappear. So let's try. That's it. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you.